there, what we manage to do is to conserve all the energy which we usually dissipate into other things.
A simple vessel or bowl pours a stream of water in conclusion to a meritorious deed.
We can mark that turning point by a tiny little star.
Water. And so with the canals in and around the area, this brought water. And with water,
Sawadika, I am Sunan Pondrajan and welcome to the second edition of Meditation for All Series 1 under the theme of Basic Meditation for Beginners. This video presentation is designed to equip you with the knowledge of life taught in Buddhism. It also tries to help develop some basic meditation practice that can help us throughout our lives. Realizing the universality that all of us have difficulties, the Lord Buddha meditated and let himself out of difficulties. During this 1-hour program, we will be introducing to you the universal method of meditation discovered by the Lord Buddha that can be used by all types of people in all types of living condition, whether a man or a woman, old or young, healthy or sick, rich or poor. The method that you learn here is simple yet effective. It basically works for anyone, anywhere. We will be learning also about the Buddhist way of life with contemplations that are brought into actions. Following Buddhist culture, we will learn the sitting posture and meditate along with the teaching monk. Moreover, we can rejoice with our friends who are going to join us and share their ideas and experiences in meditation. And last but not least, Vera Room Dragoon will take us on a tour of the temple where hundreds of thousands of people come for meditation. We will be learning also about the Buddhist way of life with contemplations that are brought into actions. Following Buddhist culture, we will learn the sitting posture and meditate along with the teaching monk. Moreover, we can rejoice with our friends who are going to join us and share their ideas and experiences in meditation. And last but not least, Vera Room Dragoon will take us on a tour of the temple where hundreds of thousands of people come for meditation.
So welcome back to our mini-series on meditation for beginners. Last week I already had the chance to talk to you about what we actually mean by meditation and also some of the scientific research which has shown the benefits of meditation as well. It all sounds very good, doesn't it? But what is interesting and what we're going to look at this week is exactly how meditation can work to bring us all these wonderful benefits. Some people wonder whether meditation is in fact something scientific. And in fact, although it's not science in general, but there are many things about meditation which we can explain in a scientific way. And what I'd like to do today is to explain in a fairly scientific way about how we can account for all these wonderful benefits which we get from meditation. In fact, most of the problems which we deal with on a personal basis from day to day come from the fact that our body and mind tend not to be in balance. Often they are separated. Our body may be in one place, but our attention or our awareness may be in another place completely. You may think again that there's no problem with that, but in fact the further away the mind goes from the body and the longer it is away, the more problems and the more suffering it tends to bring us. You may wonder why the mind would want to go away from the body in the first place. Well, there are many things to tempt the mind outside the body. Can you imagine the scenario of wandering along a shopping street and seeing something you like in a shop window. Supposing it's something like a diamond ring. The moment you see a diamond ring you like, what you find is that your mind is attracted outside the body and it's with the diamond ring rather than with yourself. This is a case of our mind being attracted outside our body by something which we like too much. At the same time, our mind could also be attracted outside our body by things which we don't like. You'd think your mind didn't want to stay with things which you don't like, but in fact this is often not the case. If you imagine again that you're walking along the street and you see someone you hate, what you find, especially if you want to punch that person on the nose, is that your mind is more caught up with that person than it is with yourself. So also because of hatred, your mind can be drawn outside the body. The longer your mind is away, and the more time your mind spends away, the more suffering which you manage to bring for yourself. That's not the only thing which happens to your mind. In fact, it uses up a lot of mental energy as well. Some of you may have jobs in which you sit at your desk all day long. You may not move a muscle at all. Maybe all you do all day long is to think about your schedule for work or to plan strategies for how to make a profit in life. But I'm sure you agree that at the end of the day you feel exhausted. But it's not physical exhaustion, it's mental exhaustion. And the fact that you've been pushing ideas and thoughts around in your mind all day long. Again, this comes from the fact that your mind is active. It's traveling here and there all day long, consuming a lot of mental energy. What we try to do with meditation is to bring the mind back inside the body, to bring the mind back from all those temptations and distractions back to its real home in the center of the body. If we can manage to do that, the first thing which we manage to do is to save an awful lot of mental energy. Instead of consuming mental energy with going here and there, what we manage to do is to conserve all the energy which we usually dissipate into other things. Once we use less energy, surprisingly enough, the amount of metabolic rate which we need in our body is also reduced. Even on the level of common sense, this is intuitive to us. I'm sure many of you have found that when you're worked up, when your mind has a lot of things going through it, then you find yourself breathing deeply. You find yourself sweating sometimes as well if you are upset. But once your mind is brought back inside yourself, these sort of reactions of the body are reduced a lot. And this is a sign that our metabolic rate is actually being reduced. So once we have brought our mind back inside, the metabolic rate will start to fall. This is a response to the fact that our thoughts are more centered inside ourselves. Once we have a lower metabolic rate, because there's less consumption of food and energy in our body, what we find is that the oxygen which we need for our body to function is actually reduced in its demand. So we find that instead of breathing deeply or instead of breathing heavily, we find ourselves breathing in a more subtle way, in a more refined way. And again, this is intuitive, that when we feel calm, often we find that our breathing will become relaxed as well. However, when we are worked up, our breathing may be much more coarse and much heavier. But once we start to relax, we find that our oxygen consumption is reduced and our breathing will become more shallow. Once the breathing becomes more shallow, the next thing which happens is that the number of thoughts stirred up in the mind by our breathing will be reduced a great deal. It's rather like the metaphor of the ocean, in which when the wind stops blowing, there are hardly any waves on the surface of the ocean anymore. In the same way for our mind, once we stop, in the same thing with our mind, once we have shallower breathing and more relaxed breathing, then the number of thoughts which are stirred up in the mind become much less. And this brings us full circle, because once our thoughts become less, then in fact less energy is required. Once even less energy is required, our metabolic rate will decrease further. The level of oxygen will also decrease, and the shallowness of our breathing will become less and less. So what we see is a sort of positive feedback loop by which the more our mind is centered inside our body, the less consumption of energy, the less consumption of oxygen, and eventually there will be a reduction of thoughts in the mind as well. And the thoughts will be reduced more and more until we come to the point where there are no further thoughts in the mind anymore. At this point, we come to a condition which we call a standstill of the mind. In fact, it's not the mind that has stopped, but it's the thoughts which have stopped. Once the thoughts stop, then our mind can switch over into a new mode of functioning, a way of functioning which doesn't require us to think anymore, but by which we can draw directly on things like insights and intuitions and especially gut feelings in the mind, where we can know about things without having to think about them. But what is important from the point of view of our meditation is that once the mind becomes stopped in this way, there will be a very special thing happening inside us, which is there will be an arising of light inside us. It's not a light that comes from outside, but it's a light which will occur in the mind. And it's this sort of light, especially at the center of the body, which allows us to see more about ourselves, see about things which we cannot see with the naked eye. And the more we can see, the more we can know. When our level of knowledge increases, then we can start to discover many of the secrets which are normally hidden for us about the nature of life and reality, many things which we never knew before. So this is exactly how meditation can help to bring us into a state where we have brightness inside, where we can have knowledge which is not accessible to those who never meditated before. By now you might be wondering where this brightness inside us could have come from, because it's not something which we had before. But in fact, brightness is something which we have always had inside us. It's just the case that the brightness which we always had has been scattered in many different places. If you take a look at this torch here, you find that there's something very important missing from it. Normally a torch is something which we can use to light up a room, to find things in the room around us. But when we have a torch like this, which has its lens missing from it, then although it consumes the same amount of energy, and although it has a bulb which is working properly, in fact we cannot use the torch for anything useful at all. Why? Because all the light from the torch is in rays which is scattered in different directions. But what we've done when we have practiced the meditation is that we've taken all the different rays of light, which before were scattered in different directions, and we have focused them together into one single beam. This is seen in the second photograph here, where we find that the lens on the torch has been replaced. Instead of all the light being scattered in different directions, now it is all focused in the same direction. Just now when we were talking about bringing all our thoughts back to the center of our body, we've done exactly the same thing with our mind. Instead of allowing our thoughts to be scattered here and there with the things that we like or don't like, or even to different parts of the world, in the case of people thinking about the other side of the world, now we have brought all our thoughts back to one single point in the center of our body. And when we do this, what we find is that our thoughts are now going in the same direction, and in the same way, all the light inside ourselves, which before was scattered in different directions, now comes to a visible focus in our center. And it's this sort of light which allows us to see dimly at first, and later much more brightly, just all the secrets which we have inside ourselves. In the beginning, the light may be rather dim, or maybe it will be as if you can hardly even see it at all. Some people describe in their meditation that it's like being in a dark room where they can only see the outlines of the objects in the room with them. But later, as their eyes adapt to the darkness, then they can see more and more of the room around them. It's the same thing with the meditation. With practice, the level of brightness will start to grow inside us, rather like a lens on a torch which becomes more and more focused, allowing us to have a very powerful tool to examine the nature of the world around us and the nature even of ourselves. Sometimes it's easy to comment on the things which we see in the world around us, but the last place we ever look is inside ourselves. Sometimes other people know more about ourselves than we do, but once we have a brightness inside ourselves, we can start to learn about the real truths of the things inside ourselves. We don't need to wait for other people to give us encouragement, but we can give ourselves encouragement from the inside out. So these are some of the things we can do when we do this magical trick of starting to focus the thoughts inside our mind, rather like the torch, where by focusing the beams of light we can have something very powerful. The light inside the mind can be more powerful than any of the lights which we've seen in the outside world. Some who have meditated have said that the light inside can be as bright as the midday sun, or even brighter than that. So this is something which we can look forward to our meditation to. This is something which we can look forward to in our meditation once we become more proficient. This is all I'd like to leave you with from the point of view of the theory of meditation for today. But next time round we'll be looking more at some of the attitudes which can help us to study meditation in more efficient way. And these will be some of the things which I'll be talking to you next time round.
In our next session, we will show you our Buddhist traditions in action. You probably have heard about merit making before, and may even have done it yourself. What we will show you in the following episode, called The Wonderful Wishing Water, is one way Buddhists traditionally share the merit that they've made with their loved ones who have passed away. It is an act of love and remembrance achieved with a focused mind. Don't go away.
Wonderful Wishing Water. A simple vessel or bowl pours a stream of water in conclusion to a meritorious deed, to the accompaniment of the resonant chanting of monks. The pourer makes a wish as the water gushes out into the bowl. The most important part of making the wish is the water itself, the stream of water which focuses one's concentration. The touch of the fingertip in the water's flow channels a feeling deep inside, and all are combined in a moment of concentration while the wish is in the making. It is believed that the wishing water must finally be poured into the earth, into a pot of plants, or at the foot of a tree, with the additional wish that the water may nourish the life of all living beings on the planet. The wishing water helps nourish the life of all living beings on earth.
Now we would have a chance to actually sit down and meditate with Venerable Somsak Biyasilo to cultivate our peaceful mind and allow virtues to grow.
Welcome everyone to this meditation session. Meditation is the philosophy belonging to the world of the Oriental. In the Oriental, meditation is so commonly found in all levels of the society. It is not only the theoretical part, but meditation also guides the one who practices it to gain peace and happiness inside as the fruit of meditation. Everyone in this world, I believe, desires for happiness, and meditation is the key and the answer of reaching happiness that we all look for. Now let's start practicing meditation. The first thing is to choose your sitting position. You might not be able to sit in lotus position like I am doing now. That is fine for beginners. As a beginner, you might choose the comfortable corner of your room. Choose your own chair that you like. You might sit on the cushion, or if you have a little pillow to support your lotus position, that would be great. But the important thing is your back should be kept straight to prevent from the pain in the back. Now let's try meditation together. So we close our eyes so softly. Don't press the eyelids. Just let them close so softly and gently. You can breathe normally, like you normally do. Nothing is so special about it. Make sure that every minute and every second is full of relaxation. Relaxation is a key to centering the mind. So let the stream of relaxation flow over the entire body. It is like relaxation is flooding the entire body all at once. So from head to heels, from top to feet, every part of the body is relaxed. If we could notice the breathing, once we breathe in, there would be the turning point of the breath. The turning point lies in the center of the stomach. This is also called by the scientists the point of the center of the gravity. But in meditation today, we have got a term that is the turning point of the breath is the station of the mind. The station of the mind lies in the center of our abdomen, right inside the stomach. It is also referred to as the term the middle way or the middle part, taught by our Lord Buddha. The term middle way is so unique, belonging to the teaching of the Lord Buddha. Also, in the teaching of หลวงพ่อ วัดปากน้ำ who is the most famous meditation master. He has the term, the center of the body. Whatever the term is, they all indicate the same point inside the abdomen, whether it is the station of the mind, the turning point, the middle path, or the center of the body. It is exactly the same spot inside the body. So we have got the point to focus in our meditation now. Let's stay inside that turning point together for a while. We can mark that turning point by a tiny little star. This is just to mark the position that the mind is now clinging on. The sparkling star is shining peacefully at the center of the body. This is the final station, permanent base of the mind, with the little star shining as a landmark inside. So all the awareness stays at the shining star in the center of the body. It is not too difficult, right? Just observe the picture of the star that is shining inside the body. Keep observing, seeing the shining star located in the center of the body. At this point, the mind is in good balance. It is centered very well and not moving at all. The mind and the star become one another. The mind and the star become good friends. The star is at peace inside our center. The more we are centered, the more we become relaxed. The more we become relaxed, the more we become centered. So, to be centered and to relax, they come together. Now we are more and more relaxed. At the same time, we are more and more centered. with the image of the shining star as an indicator in the center. So stay with this shining star for a little while. By staying in the center, the mind learns to be peaceful and absorbs the happiness from being in the center. Now let's share this peace and happiness to all other creatures. Let the others to get the same peace, the same happiness from inside. Let them get the same level of peace of mind, the same level of happiness inside, derived from the shining star in the center. Let happiness embrace the whole world, the whole human population, and all other living creatures. May the world live in peace.
Nini Gewelin has many significant roles to play both for family and social welfare, but she has never perceived her responsibilities as a burden. Meditation has helped her to remain detached, yet possess a clear understanding of what needs to be done. When the role is played accurately, there is efficiency and effectiveness, which result in satisfaction and contentment at having made a significant contribution. Meet her in the following session of Meditation for All.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello, my name is Vera Rungchugul, and I recently graduated from the University of California, Berkeley, majoring in political science and Spanish language and literature. And I found that meditation has helped me in so many ways. It's hard to name every single thing that it has done for me, but for what I can say about how it affected me directly is that when I was a student, especially in high school and in college, I found that meditation really helped me to focus my thoughts and allow me to finish every project efficiently and effectively. As a student, there were so many projects, and I found that trying to think of every single project was really time-consuming and really taking a toll on my mind. And so before, when I was younger, my mom and my dad would take me to the temple and to meditate and to join the programs of the temple. But I never really understood what meditation was or really thought about how it affected me. I just did it because my parents told me to, and so I never really tried it out or believed in it. But when I came in high school, I started to realize that, okay, maybe this is really an effective way to handle all the stress and handle all the pressure, all the work of daily life and of school. And so I started to meditate, and I slowly realized that it helped to really focus my mind and really clear out all the thoughts that were troubling me. In university, studying at Berkeley taught me a lot of different things about how people interacted with each other, but it didn't really explain how problems could be solved. I watched the news, I saw the discussions in classes, and then there never really was a solution, and never really was a solution to all the problems presented. But after meditating a lot, or more often, it broadened the possibilities, for me at least. It changed my outlook in life in that before hearing all the negative news, all the wars, all the conflicts that were occurring, after hearing that, it made me angry, and it made me feel powerless and question humanity. But after meditating, it allowed me to still the mind and to actually see things for what it was. And by meditating, it didn't let my emotions get the best of me. And when that happened, I was able to see both sides of the story more clearly. And so it allowed me a different perspective. And from that, and by stilling the mind and just not really overreacting, it allowed me to see that I wasn't powerless to affect change in the world. And so by meditating, through meditation, I felt that, okay, maybe I was able to make a difference in the world. And so after meditating more often and more continuously, I felt, okay, this is good. I can actually be a positive influence. And so meditation in that respect helped me to broaden my outlook on life and to feel as though I had a purpose, and that I could really do something about all the conflicts and make myself more determined to be a positive influence in society. And so in that respect, it gave me a purpose in life. And there's so many other benefits to meditation, such as especially when I'm stressed or have a lot of projects due and a lot of activities that come one after the other. I found that just by taking a moment in the spare time that I have to make my mind still and to just stop thinking about every single thing that I had to do and stuff that didn't even occur yet. And so just by taking that extra moment, that spare moment, it allowed me to refocus and to, okay, start over, and okay, I could do this. It gave me more courage to handle each project effectively and more productively. So some people might think, okay, that extra time that you take to meditate could be used to finish all the projects that you have due. But I found that when I took some time off, whether it be 5 minutes or even a minute, to think, okay, clear the thoughts from my head and not think about anything in particular, that it actually made me more productive. That extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes of just sitting by myself and not worrying about upcoming projects allowed me to actually make my time, the time that I had, more productive. And so, although I haven't found much time to actually sit down and meditate for long periods of time, I try to still my mind and place my mind at the center of the body in every little moment, such as when I'm walking to school or when I'm working or when I'm driving, or just the little things. Moments when you think you don't have time, but actually you have quite a bit of time. And so when I'm walking to school or doing anything, I try to remember, okay, focus and not think about random things such as, oh, this, I have to do laundry, or I have to meet with a coworker, or activities such as that. And so by meditating, it refocuses me and allows me to concentrate on the task at hand. And so I found that in that sense, it's really allowed me to organize my time more efficiently and effectively, and allowed me to focus. And so a lot of my friends and my family, especially my parents, have said to me that, oh, you're very down to earth, and you're very patient compared to other people they might have found. And so I found that meditating has helped me increase my patience. Before, I was pretty emotional. I didn't really take things as they were. And so by meditating, it allowed me to reevaluate myself and to really change the habits that I wanted to change. I found that meditation has allowed me to be able to handle all the problems that I had. But sometimes I try to reduce that stress by going to the movies or going with my friends. But when there's a lot of stress and a lot of problems, I find that meditation really, really helps me focus my mind. So meditation has given me inner strength and an inner clarity that I never knew I had before. So right now, I am continuing my studies at the Monterey Institute in California. I'm studying to be a translator and interpreter. And I found that without meditation, I wouldn't have been able to come to this point. So I'm really grateful that I've found meditation, and that I hope everyone who is interested in making a change in yourself and in the world, try meditation and give it a chance. It really is a positive activity that can change the world, and by changing first yourself. And so thank you very much, and สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ Hi, my name is Nini Keverin. I live in Pico Rivera, California, USA. I have lived in USA for almost 30 years. I'm a businesswoman. I work in the jewelry business, and also I'm a mother of 3 wonderful children. I have 2 boys and a girl, 19, 15, and 8 years old. Also, I have a wonderful husband too. Anyway, I have been lived in USA for all my life, and talk about meditation. I have never been interested in meditation at all, because I don't understand why do we need to learn how to do meditation. Anyway, about 7 years ago, when I first find the temple, the meditation center in Azusa, I start to go to the temple, and just for one thing, I just want to do the Buddha image. So I do some donation, and just to go there, offer the food to the monks, and just like a normal Buddhist way of doing good deed. However, I meet a lot of people, and they start telling me and share with me about meditation, that you should learn how to do meditation. So anyway, when I go back to the temple, and when people introduce me to the meditation, I realized that it must be something quite important, and everyone should learn how to do meditation. So I start to practice meditation, and you know what, I have to tell you, I love it, every minute of it. I think, you know what, if you can do something for yourself, okay, and give something to yourself, I think it's the best gift that you can do for yourself and share with others. That would be the best gift that you can give to other people. Why do I say that? Because, you know, with lifestyle that we all have, with family and work. You know, it's so busy schedule all the time that we need to be with people around us and taking care of people, the family, and everything. So sometimes you feel like this is it about life, even though I have a wonderful family, wonderful children, but still, sometimes you need that time off for yourself too. So I find that the meditation would help me and guide me to focus about my work and also my family. What makes me say that? Because like my work, you know, sometimes you have to deal with so many people in different level all the time, especially when you're in the management or even higher level, you have much more responsibility. So with meditation, it helped me to focus on not just the problem, take everything, little thing, even though a little smile that you can receive from people and you give it back to other people. And meditation would teach you inside that life, every minute is so important if you always within your meditation. But because when you practice meditation so much, just like you learn how to ride the bicycle, even though you haven't ride the bicycle for 10 years, when you get on it, you can start balance yourself and be able to ride on the motorcycle, on the bicycle, right? Same thing, if you practice meditation all the time, not just close your eyes and just sit still, but you can do with your busy schedule. And that's what I do all the time. And again, with the family, when you deal with your family, sometimes you feel, you know, sometimes pressure for a lot of problems, you know, like maybe with your busy schedule of your work already and you have to deal with your own family, school, anything. I'm sure that you guys know and experience what I experience. But because of meditation, it helped me to focus on know how to answer all the questions for my children and of course my husband. Know how to deal with the problem with everyday life in the, I have to say, wiser way. Because instead of being angry, instead of being so emotional about the problem come to you, you look at the problem differently because you look at the problem like, well, this is how it is. This is life, you know, you got to deal with it. But people who had meditation would look at that in the smarter way because you look at the problem like, okay, this is something that you have to deal with it, so you just back off a little bit or sometimes you get right on it, but you would know how. The only way that you would know how to do that and understand what I'm saying to you, you got to learn how to do meditation first. Then you would understand and you find yourself that you'll be much happier person. And it will show when people look at you because I have people ask me all the time that, what is your secret? What kind of vitamin you take? Why you always look so happy? Why you look so young? What did you do? And I just say, well, there's no secret at all. I'm telling you right now, just do meditation. Give yourself, you know, some time to be with yourself and just meditate. And at the end, I always wish everyone around me and people around the world to have a better life and be happy. When you share that, you feel like your heart is explode. You're getting bigger and bigger every day. I'm talking about your heart. You're getting bigger because you can love anyone. There's no limit that you have to love only your family. You can love anyone, anybody, anything. Okay? So anyway, please join me. Try meditation and you would know that you would not be able to live without it because meditation can do so much for you and your family and there's no cost to do meditation at all. Only give yourself the best present that you can give to yourself. So join me, okay? And we'll meet each other through meditation. Good luck to you all and see you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Because we were too enthusiastic to show you the Dharma teaching on our show that we didn't have the opportunity to introduce our host appropriately, and we would like to take a few minutes to do so. Vera is Thai originally, but she grew up and was educated in the USA. She is intelligent and articulate. She undertakes the Dharma translation from English, Thai, and Spanish. And she appeared on our DMC program, previously as a guest speaker and presently as a host. Let's see some of her previous experiences. Let's see some of her previous appearances.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hello and welcome back on the tour of Wat Phra Thamakai. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and today I'm taking you inside to help you get to know the land of Dharma, or the land where the truth of life unfolds. Over 30 years ago, this green land that you see now used to be so dry that everyone believed that it was impossible for any trees to grow here. It seemed almost hopeless for the seed of any plant to be planted here. But the Lord Buddha taught us to have hope. Bearing this teaching in mind, Kun Yai, Lung Po Thamachayo, and Lung Po Thata Jiwo put forth their every effort to turn this dry, acidic land into a green sanctuary, as you can see now. They started off first by digging a canal and finding water. And so with the canals in and around the area, this brought water. And with water came moisture. And it allowed the area to be cool. And so once water was found here, it allowed fast-growing trees to be grown. But the three founders didn't just choose any kind of plants to be planted here. They chose the Katinarong and the Takok because they were fast-growing trees that were able to be planted in unfertile soil. The Katinarong roots brought nitrogen to the soil, and its leaves were used as fertilizer for the soil. The takok tree attracted birds, which came to eat its berries. The area was beautified by the singing of the birds, the song of the wind blowing through the trees, and the sound of the falling Katinarong leaves, and the coolness of the water. Little by little, the area turned into the woodland it is today. some even compared Wat Pratamakai to the Chetawan Mahavihan of Lord Buddha's time. By transforming this plot of land from a very dry land into a woodland, the pioneers of Wat Pratamakai have reinforced the Lord Buddha's saying that there's not one place in this world where one cannot find hope. Luang Por Tamachayo once said, "Even in the heart of the cruelest man can the seed of virtue be planted and grown." Sawadee ka. Until next time.
We hope our program aid many to develop understanding and mindfulness, which will enable us to learn how to let go of the stress and difficulties that come from our attachment to greed, aversion, and ignorance. Until we meet again next time, Sawadee ka.